What's going on, man? Will Freeman, revolutionary lifestyledesign.com, talking to you today about everything is a risk. Okay, everything. That's risky, they tell you, right? That's risky. That sounds risky. That sounds dangerous. It's like a motto growing up from our parents to our teachers to role models. If the middle class mentality could be defined in one statement, it would be that sounds risky or that sounds dangerous. Okay, it implies two things, right? When people tell you it sounds risky, it implies what you're doing is dangerous, number one. Number two, don't take risks, right? Don't take risks because something bad could happen, okay? There's some truth to that statement, except the qualifier, which you never hear, is don't take dumb risks, okay? Don't do dumb shit. Don't take dumb risks with no ROI. Don't take uncalculated risks for no reason. That's good advice. Calculated risks, on the other hand, is something entirely different. Okay? But more importantly, what you don't learn with a middle class mentality, what you don't learn when someone tells you that sounds risky and leaves it at that, is that everything is a risk. Every fucking thing you do is a risk. And everything you do is an opportunity cost of not doing something else. So you risk something by not doing something. You also risk the potential of massive success in a different area by the opportunity cost of working or doing something else. Okay? Everything is a risk. Yes, it's a risk to start a business, but it's also a risk not to start a business, right? It's a risk to work for $45,000 a year, right? You're risking not making six figures, 250, 500, seven figures a year. Okay? It's a risk not to start a business. Working a job is a risk of getting fired, getting replaced by a robot at some point in the future, and the biggest risk of all, not getting wealthy, because it's very hard to get wealthy when your salary is $45,000 or $50,000 or $60,000 and there's no commission and there's no movement upwards and life is expensive. Okay? 1% of people are comfortable in North America. Shit, around the world, right? 1%. People that are wealthy. It's ugly. It's nasty. That's how the world works. Okay? That's the reality. You risk not being wealthy. In fact, you guarantee it. You guarantee it by working a job. Okay? Err on the side of caution, people tell you. But caution is not always your best move in life. Okay? Caution will keep your finances in mediocrity so that if/when disaster strikes, medical problem, getting fired, some type of event, you're not protected, you're not prepared, you don't have abundance, you don't have prosperity, you don't have 3 or 4 streams of income. You're solely dependent on one stream of income, selling your time for money and for a relatively small amount of money. When the reality is you need a good amount of money to be able to be comfortable and financially secure and financially stable. Okay? If/when disaster strikes, you're not protected and prepared. That's a big risk. And you risk not living a life of prosperity and abundance. That's a risk too. That's a serious risk, especially as you start to get older and you want to retire. Okay, if you want to retire, you need about $1 million right now to be comfortable, right? 65, say you live to 85. You know, that's a long time without income coming in, especially if you have health problems, all right? And you risk not living a life of prosperity and abundance, and that's not even accurate. That's not even been accurate. You guarantee it. Okay, if you settle for 45, 50, 60 grand, you guarantee it, man. I mean, after taxes, your 60 grand is 3,800 or 4,000 after your your employment insurance, your social security, you know, all the other things, right? You're like 3,500, 4,000. You guarantee you're not going to be in prosperity or abundance. Guarantee it by not taking the risk of aggressively pursuing wealth and success. Okay? Settling for $50,000 a year is risky as fuck in my not so humble opinion. Sometimes I'm humble, sometimes I'm not so humble. That's risky, dude, for the rest of your life. Also, you're saying that job, right? That's going to have to continue for 25, 30 years, right? No innovations in the job, not being replaced by a machine, assuming that You're still going to be employable, right? How old's your manager right now? Okay, your manager is 35 or 37. Are you going to be willing to work for that, for a 37-year-old into your 50s and 60s? Or they're going to hire and replace that with somebody new if that job even exists? Like, look how quickly the world's evolving, right? That to me is risky, okay? That advice, because you're not working the same job and you're going to retire with a gold watch and being able to buy a house yourself. Times have changed. Everyone lives on credit. You need, for the most people, need two people working to buy a house because they're not wealthy. Jobs change constantly. Technologically is expanding exponentially quickly to a mind-boggling rate. Okay, settling and working some job for 50 grand is risky, in my opinion. All right, the big risk is yes, starting a business is a risk, but the bigger risk is not aggressively trying to get wealthy and to get comfortable. Not so you can buy Louis Vuitton. The luxury goods is not Louis Vuitton. Luxury goods is financial security and stability, and that comes from aggression. That doesn't come from playing cautious and playing defense. That's not just given to you. You have to go hard to get that stuff. Okay, it's a risk to build a business. Okay, it's also a risk to take your six-figure business and spend $150,000, $200,000 on marketing to get it to seven figures, right? But so is not aggressively increasing your revenue year over year. That's a huge risk in business, right? Because if you're not increasing, you're decreasing and you're dying, or you're neutral, which means you're just slowly dying because the gravity is going to bring a flat line down. Okay. Yes, you risk social shame by aggressively going after new clients, cold calls, in person. You risk people being ashamed. You risk people saying, "Hey, you're putting pressure on me," right? But that's all you risk. The bigger risk is not going after clients, because you don't get new clients, your business dies. It's done. Okay, you need to get new clients all the time. You need to be consistently going after new clients, or your business is going to die. Okay, that's the bigger risk. Yes, testosterone replacement therapy and aggressively pursuing anti-aging technologies, stem cells, HDH, all this stuff is a risk. Absolutely. But so is getting old, quote unquote, gracefully. Okay, old age kills more people than every disease combined. Old age kills more people than cigarettes, heart attacks, cancer, drunk driving, everything, man. Old age will kill you if the other stuff doesn't, right? So aggressively pursuing anti-aging technology might be a risk, but the fucking big risk is that you're going to die of old age and your body's consistently, going to stop producing the things that keep you healthy. That's a massive risk, okay? I don't like either scenario, but you have to understand it's a risk not going after that. And it's a risk not having the money to aggressively pursue anti-aging technologies and stem cells and nanotechnology and whatever the fuck else crazy shit they're going to invent, okay? That's a risk. Not aggressively pursuing that stuff. And the risk is fucking getting old, quote unquote, gracefully and dying, right? If old age was a disease, it would be the most dangerous disease in the world, okay? Moving to a developing country like I did is a risk. It's not for everybody, okay? It's definitely not for everybody, but so is staying in the country you were born and paying 3 times the cost of living than you would in a developing country and 30% in taxes. That's a big risk. Yeah, riding a motorcycle is a risk, but so is living life with the training wheels on, right? You risk becoming soft and weak and boring and neutered and living a child-proof life in a nanny state. That's a risk, right? Risk becoming fucking boring in your middle age. At the end of the day, we're men, and sometimes we want to do dangerous shit, man. Okay? But as long as you keep a calculated risk, you keep control of your machine, you watch where you're going, right? Everything's a risk, right? I'm not telling you to take dumb risks. I'm saying everything's a risk. So you want to take the smart risks, the calculated risks that are going to maximize your prosperity, maximize your health, wealth, relationships, and lifestyle, and maximize your consistent happiness, okay? And not have this knee-jerk reaction like, oh, that's risky, so I won't do it, right? The risky thing is not building a life of consistent happiness. The risky thing is man's greatest burden is unfulfilled potential and not aiming to fill your potential. That's fucking risky. Okay? You risk dying with regrets. You risk dying with regrets when you do that. Okay? Because the reality is you're not going to feel good until you're going hard at life. And more importantly, you fucking die at the end, so who gives a fuck? You know? Be grateful today because tomorrow's not guaranteed. I'm not saying being stupid. I'm saying care about your life. Take good care of yourself. But I mean, starting a business or whatever, it's just fucking starting a business, man. It's not a big deal. Okay? It's not this terribly scary thing, or taking your business to 7 figures, man. Like be grateful today because tomorrow's not guaranteed. And if you're not going hard, like, what are you here for? Like, every hero of mine has a healthy contempt for their own life, and so do I to a certain degree. It's not that I'm not grateful for it. It's not that I'm not taking care of myself to the best of my ability. It's not that I'm taking dumb risks. It's that I know this is temporary, man. And if God wants to take me back, plane hits some turbulence, that could be it, man. All right. So I'm going hard until then, right? I'm taking calculated, intelligent risks. I'm maximizing my life. I'm living every day. I'm being grateful. I'm trying to squeeze everything out of it I can. I'm trying to, be a slave to success and all these different things, because I know it's temporary, man. Just being born's a risk, dude. Look at all the things that we risked by our spirit incarnating into these meat sacks, into these temporary vehicles that I'm speaking to you through on my damn phone, man. That was a risk. That was the biggest risk we ever took, was incarnating into this body, okay? Because everything's a risk. So if God wants to take me back, he can take me back at any time, man. I hope he doesn't. I hope I get a long life. I pray for that. But that's also the truth, man. So until that point, right? Until that point, I'm trying to, go hard at everything, okay? Because why the fuck not? Like, fuck regular life, dude. That to me is the biggest risk. Regular life's what I'm scared of. Mediocrity is what I'm scared of. Boring ass life's what I'm scared of. I still have literal nightmares where I'm handing out resumes, or I'm working in a call center that I worked in 16 years ago. Literal nightmares. Like, I wake up from that. Oh, thank God. Right? Scared of that shit. Scared of regular life, dude. Scared of not living up to my potential. Scared of not going all out, man. That scares me, dude. That's a risk I'm not willing to take, right? I'm not willing to take the risk of living a life and looking back on it and having a bunch of regrets. That's too risky for me. That scares me, man. Okay? I guarantee you're not going to be sitting on your deathbed regretting giving 100%, even if you failed at a bunch of things. You're going to be happy you tried at it, okay? But I guarantee you will regret not trying and quitting on yourself, right? And you will regret that safe, child-proof life that you lived. You'll regret that, right? You'll regret all the things that you didn't do. I guarantee you that, okay? So everything is a risk. By not going hard, you risk prosperity, abundance, fun. You risk not being top 1% in your health, wealth, relationships, lifestyle. And you guarantee regular life, man, mediocrity, right? That's what you should be scared of, man, having that boring fucking life. That should scare you, man, okay? So I say go hard. I say take risks, but I say take calculated, intelligent risks, because you can't get away from risk. Everything's a risk. So take the right risks and do your research and calculate the probabilities and maximize the ROI, and then go all in on it. So fuck erring on the side of caution. Err on the side of intelligent, aggressive risk-taking, because you can't get away from risk-taking. Take smart risks and be in it to win it. And that's all I have to say on this subject. So let me know what you think in the comment section. If you want help elevating your health, wealth, relationships, lifestyle, all that stuff, let me know. revolutionarylifestyledesign.com/coaching, and sign up to my peak performance coaching. All right, brother. Wish you all the best.